Hello, I'm Brandon Brown, owner and founder of Full Tilt Fowlers. Tonight I want to answer any and all questions that we commonly get when it comes to our duck calls and our goose calls and our mini wood duck calls. So tonight we're going to introduce the Super Timber double reed duck call, the goose call that we make, the mini wood duck call that we make, as well as the 2015 Fat and Sassy call that we're going to be putting out on the market. At this time, those are the calls that we currently make. We also make a single reed standard tune duck call that we can do as well. One of the most common questions that we get is why the name Full Tilt Fowlers. So I want to discuss that with you just for a brief moment. We go with the name Full Tilt Fowlers because we believe that in order to be an effective hunter, you have to be full tilt all the time, putting in all the time, the effort, and the money that it takes to be successful. We take that name and add Fowlers at the end because obviously we're hunting waterfowl. That's what we love to do. So we come up with the name Full Tilt Fowlers. The question we get is, how did we get started? Well, a few years ago when I started waterfowl hunting, one of the things that I noticed was the cost of duck and goose calls was extremely high. So what I wanted to do is find a way to give a product to our customers that is a fraction of the cost of your common name duck calls that you would find at a local store. So we turned to the lathe, we got a drill press, and we just went to work. With a lot of great products out there, it isn't extremely hard to get started making duck calls, but making them sound the way that you want took a little time. 8 months of development before we got the Super Timber, and currently we are in month 2 of the Fat and Sassy. We often get asked, what do you offer in a Full Tilt Fowler call? We offer a lot of different options. For example, we have burnt hedge and cocobolo in our wood. We have cast acrylic. And then for goose calls, we do burnt hedge, cocobolo, and a certain limited number of acrylic colors. But for duck calls, you can get any color that you would like. You come up with a combination, we'll get it made, we'll get it turned. We also offer a 2.5 to 3 inch cocobolo or hedge mini wood duck call. These things sound great, people love them. They happen to be a very hot seller for us. One of the questions we also get all the time is whether our calls are hand turned or are they CNC'd. Our calls are all hand turned. Therefore, there's a few things that you got to look for when you get them. Number one is the shape might be slightly different in terms of one might be a little bit fatter, one might be a little more skinny, but they're all relatively the same shape. We also hand cut each of our soundboards. So we do have a jig that we put it in, and we cut it off of that jig, and then to make the Super Timber, we have to spend anywhere from 20 minutes to 30 minutes to go ahead and tune that call. We use the jig to cut the shape, and then from there it's all into just the hands of me and listening to the call as I go and just trying to find the best sound for that call. They slightly different, maybe one's a little higher, one's a little bit lower, but they're all relatively the same sound. They all have relatively the same shape, but because they are hand turned and they are hand tuned, we have to kind of tell you that there is a chance that one might be just slightly different than another one. But we go for the same basic principle that we want to be able to get loud on it with very little air. We want it to sound good on the low end, and we want to be able to chuckle it and bounce it to whatever skill level we are at that time. So each of these calls is handmade. Therefore, if you place an order and it's a custom order, I have to order the acrylic in. Then when it arrives, then I usually take anywhere from 24 to 48 hours to complete a call. So generally speaking, 7 to 10 days, a custom tuned, turned, and a custom colored call will be at your doorstep. I often get questions about whether or not we offer other products outside of the game calls. Right now we currently offer t-shirts on our website, fulltiltfowlers.com, as well as stickers in either black or white, and game totes, lanyards, and dog collars, as well as bracelets. You can go to fulltiltfowlers.com to see what the options are and see what it is that we have, but I can show you a few of them right here. We have a game tote which has an extra thick neck on it, so when you put it around, it's very comfortable. It can hold a total of 6 birds, which here in Iowa is our limit per day per hunter. So we have a limit's worth of birds that you can carry with this. We also have dog collars that come in various sizes. It's best if you go ahead and measure the neck of your dog and let us know how big it is so we can get a size that is close enough. They are adjustable, and they do have the clasp in them to do that. but it just helps us in producing that we make sure it's the right size. We also offer call lanyards, and again, in many different colors. We have many options over here on the table, but we can get just about any color that someone would want. In this particular case, you can tell that we have what's standard for us is 4 calls per lanyard, so 4 drops. So once you put your call on here, we also have these little slides on it to slide it down. It holds it tight, make sure it doesn't go anywhere on you. Again, on the back we have an extra thick neck so that it just sets nice and comfortable on the back of your neck. As we look back at 2014, we had a pretty successful year, selling well over 100 calls. Most of them here in the Midwest, but in states such as Georgia and Florida, all the way up in Michigan, Washington State, Louisiana, Arkansas, Texas, Missouri. So we're in 15 to 20 states now. What we'd like to do going forward into 2015 is find our way into about 30 or 40 states. And our long-term goal here in the next couple of years is obviously to be in at least 40 or 50 states here in the United States. We have calls in Canada as well, and it's kind of exciting to see that. Although shipping is not always economical for the buyer in another country, it is certainly nice to sell some either in Canada or across the ocean. As we look into 2015, we also look forward to gaining more of you guys to follow us on Full Tilt Fowler's Facebook page, as well as on Instagram. Often on Full Tilt Fowler's we have auctions on our calls where you can at times get them at a very, very good price. Our standard call is about $75 for acrylic, $65 down to $60 for a hedge call, Coca-Cola being in that $65 range. Goose call is generally around $80, $85. So it depends on what it is you're ordering. We'll kind of determine what the price is, but we often have calls in our auctions go anywhere from $45, $50 all the way up to $125. It just depends on what it is. We do a lot of auctions for charity. We do a lot of auctions obviously just to get our calls out there, trying to get them in people's hands. Sometimes we do a 3-call combo pack with a lanyard. We've done goose call, wood duck call, mallard call with a lanyard. I believe we ship that out to Washington State. So we do a lot of different things on there. Check us out. Going into 2015, we want to get a couple of those going throughout the year. We would like to also frequent a few more calling competitions and shows this year. As we went to a couple last year, we want to continue to move forward in that regard. This year we'll be at the calling competition in Burlington, Iowa at Pizzazz February 7th, I believe it is, and feel free to come see us there as well. I'd like to certainly thank you for taking the time to watch our video, listen to our products. Go ahead and go to FullTiltFowlers.com and check out what we offer on there. You can go to Instagram at Full Tilt Fowlers, Twitter at Full Tilt Fowlers, as well as our Facebook page, Full Tilt Fowlers. Any of those locations will show you what we currently have, what we're working on, and sometimes even just what I'm making at this very, very moment. I often like to show progress pictures of custom calls and things as I make them, and we certainly love hearing from people as well. Feel free to post on our Facebook page or leave comments on our Instagram. Wherever you want to get a hold of us, there's always a way.